So far we've shown you how to prepare your land, inoculate and sow your soybean, apply fertilizer, and how to control weeds. In this film, we'll now show you how to tell when the grain is ready, harvest techniques that reduce shattering of the pod, ways of drying that will keep the grain clean and help ensure that you get good prices for your soybeans when you sell them. We'll also tell you how to save some seed for next year, although we suggest you get new seeds every 3 years. Soybeans mature for harvesting in 14 to 16 weeks after planting. This will depend on the variety of soybeans you planted and the weather conditions. You can harvest your soybean when 9 out of 10 pods mature. Mature pods look brown and not green. They'll also feel dry. Pick a few pods and shake. If seeds are detached from the pod and you can hear a rattling sound, the crop is ready for harvest. If you leave the soybeans in the field too long, the pods become very dry, so they might shatter during harvest, and then the grain will be lost. One way to reduce the danger of shattering is to harvest early in the morning. This is before the sun has dried out the pods. Because soybean is shallow-rooted, many people pull up the whole plant. But if you cut the beanstalk and leave the roots behind you, you'll increase the organic matter and nutrients for the soil for the next season. It takes longer, but will help support the soil to retain nutrients and organic matter. After harvesting, dry the soybean plants in the sun and protect from rain and animals. Drying your harvested soybean on a mat, plastic sheet or tarpaulin, or on a raised platform will ensure that you have clean grains that will fetch a good price in the market. Thresh gently on a clean surface when the plants are dry. This will release the grain. Remember that soybean can be easily damaged. This is why gentle threshing is important, especially if you're keeping any grain as seed for the next year. After threshing, dry the threshed soybean grains on mats, plastic sheets, or a similar clean surface until they're very dry. There may be machines in your area that thresh soybeans mechanically. If the owners of these machines usually set a number of bags in return for the service. Check and compare their charges to make sure you don't fall at a loss when they thresh your grains. Do not throw away or burn the residues. Soybean crop residues are rich in nitrogen and therefore excellent as livestock feed or a good basis for compost. You can also leave the residues in the field directly to increase the nutrients in the soil. One possible solution is to feed your livestock in the field so the manure that's left behind can increase the nutrients in the soil. Winnow to remove chaff, dust and other rubbish. Also remove shriveled, diseased, broken grains and grains from other varieties. Dry the soybean grains for 3 days before bagging. When dry, protect your soybean grains from rain and animals.
To test the moisture content of the soybean, as a farmer like you have to go to the field, pluck and then shell it out. Then what you will do is to bite the grain. If after biting the grain, you look at it, if the moisture content at the middle is still higher, you will know that it will be soft within the middle. So in that case, you need to dry it a little bit to reduce the moisture content in it.
Place the grain in clean bags or other containers. If you're using bags that grain used to be stored in, you'll need to wash and boil the bags in water for 5 minutes to kill all the diseases and pests that may be hiding in the bags. If the bag is polyethylene, make sure it doesn't touch the outside of the pot or it will melt. Completely dry the bags after washing and boiling. Clean the storage room by spraying the room with insecticides such as Actelic. Do not store grain which is to be eaten in the same place as pesticides or other dangerous chemicals. Put the soybean grain bags on a raised platform or wooden pallet away from the wall. Avoid direct contact of storage bags with the ground. Inspect and remove infested or rotting grains on a regular basis.